Good evening and welcome here to Turner Stadium here on the campus of Taylor University for this evening's first broadcast of the 2018-2019 school year. It pits the Taylor men's soccer team against St. Francis of Illinois, the Fighting Saints, traveling down here to TU here tonight. Opening match officially for both teams after Taylor had their opening game on the road this past week against Robert Morris postponed due to some heavy weather that came through. Still unsure whether that game is going to get made up, but the first half yellow card that was called upon the sophomore Alex Gallup is still in effect here tonight, so Alex is not dressing here this evening as Taylor starts their 2018-2019 campaign here at home. St. Francis comes in under the leadership of third-year head coach Dan Cross. Taylor led by 15th-year head man. His name is Gary Ross. St. Francis coming off of a 10-7-2 2017, a 7-3-1 CCAC record. Most victories for the Fighting Saints since 2011. They also won more games in conference play in 2017 than they had in the last 5 seasons combined. They returned one of the top defenses in the country and in the conference, also one of the top goalkeepers in the CCAC in Carlos Ferrer Cotto. And Cotto in the box tonight for USF. Taylor welcomes back Luke Williams, who only played in 5 contests a year ago due to a myriad of lower body injuries. Luke played in just 5 games. He allowed 7 goals, had a 1.56 goals against. Drew Sesnoff is still his backup. There's a centering ball to just inside the 6-yard box, and then this one will be cleared away by Vanderkolk of Taylor. And then the Trojans will clear this one away back towards midfield. The Trojans move from left to right. They're in new uniforms this season. White jerseys up top with blue stripes purple stripes and purple numbers and purple letters with the purple shorts here tonight. St. Francis in the road gold with white numbers and white stripes down the side. Taylor back here again on August 21st against Trinity Christian as they get to open up the first 2 games officially of the 2018 campaign here at home. And they'll have a throw in here as they go from left to right. Vanderkolk will throw it into Rader, then back to Owen Hardy, the younger brother of graduated midfielder Sam from a year ago. Rader giving pace, and this one will be sent over towards Cotto. And he'll right foot this one out right to Luke Holwerda, the freshman forward, getting the start here for Taylor tonight. He scored over 30 goals and dished out almost 20 assists a year ago at Wheaton Academy in his senior campaign. He's looking to make an immediate impact here for Taylor here in 2018. Joshua Yeaman carrying in the middle. He draws 2 defenders in Alberghetti and Johnson for Taylor. A right-footed shot sent in and blocked by Dimoff. And there's our second shot of the night here for USF. Hardy's right foot trying to play it out of the defensive half for Taylor. It'll go off the hand of a Taylor defender, and it stays here with St. Francis. St. Francis from right to left. The only other player not playing tonight for TU is Michael Maloney. He has a lower body injury. So a foul against the Trojans. The Fighting Saints with already 2 shots on the evening. They lay this one back to McKenzie, then play it back up to the near side and Dimoff. Centering ball, jumping in the air as Johnson will head it up towards his fellow captain, Rader. Holwerda tried to get to it, and Lovu now will scoop it up for St. Francis. And now Rader will step in and play to the far side. Trying to run the give and go with Holwerda, but St. Francis gets it back, and now they'll set things up in the defensive half. Here's Alberghetti near side. Tried to find the freshman Vanderkolk. And it's a turnover in the defensive half. They dump it in deep to Yemen, the first team all CCAC player a year ago, but no one home for a centering ball through the box. It rolls all the way to the far side corner. This one almost kept in by USF, but it rolls across the end line. And this one will go back to Taylor. Trying to hold that in was Mason Messina. So first official game for Taylor here of the 2018 season after they were down 4-0 through a myriad of delays. And the first sub of the night comes in for TU. It'll be Josiah Whelan, the junior forward. He comes in to spell number 10, Luke Holwerda. Taylor from left to right in white. USF from right to left in gold. Salako to Alberghetti, who looks to be playing that holding midfielder position that Raider manned last year, which are why his offensive numbers were down. Cole Gilliam gets the start after playing in just a game a year ago, but head coach Gary Ross says that both Gilliam and Raider have had really good camps here so far, particularly the sophomore Cole Gilliam. Alberghetti right foots one through. Running after it is Vander Kolk, the freshman. He'll try to knock it around. It's sent back. Gilliam tried to be Johnny on the spot. This one sent back into space as Peter Lynn will hustle after it for TU. Vander Kolk, the freshman out of Grand Rapids, went darting forward on an expertly placed long pass from Alberghetti. But the keeper, Ferrer Cotto for USF, came in and swatted any attempt from Vander Kolk out of the way. Time is called. It will be a Taylor throw-in by the freshman James McBride. Up the far sideline to Lynn, trying to turn and try to get to the end line. Going back to his right foot, a curling in ball. Gilliam was there, but it was headed away before he could get to it. Vander Kolk will lay this one back to Owen Hardy. He'll turn on the Jets and go to the end line, trying to cross. Now stops and trying to sweep it past his defender. He's caught in the corner. It rolls out of bounds. Last touched by St. Francis's Edgar Oropeza, and Hardy will throw it in here for TU. Raider chesting it down into space, too far for Vander Kolk, and now Hardy and Johnson will try to work things on the near side. Sent back to midfield where Charbel Salako, the senior from Ireland, will handle for Taylor. Hardy, Vander Kolk, double teamed and loses it. Here's Ndlovu for USF. Josiah Whelan comes in from behind. 4 Taylor defenders surrounding the ball, trying to keep it in their attacking half. McKenzie near side for USF. His pass easily intercepted by the co-captain Raider. Gilliam trying to turn, lays it back. Vander Kolk and Whelan both overran it for TU, but the Trojans able to keep possession here on the near side of the field. About 10 yards inside midfield. Whelan a little dump off the side of the foot, and now Alberghetti will carry to the middle. Lynn laying it on back to Owen Hardy. 4 in white. Big brother Sam wore 9 a year ago. The young Hardy again. Alberghetti will pop this into the air. Whelan will turn on the Jets. Takes one big bounce, a second smaller one. His right-footed cross will be nowhere near the goal mouth. This one bounces towards the Turner Stadium entrance, and it'll be a goal kick for Carlos Ferrer Cotto of USF. Just past 8 minutes gone here in the opening half. Shots have been in favor of USF, and then Hardy called for the foul as he jumped on top of the back of Yemen and gets whistled for the foul. Both fouls in the contest tonight have belonged to Taylor. Both shots have belonged to the visitors from Illinois in St. Francis. Our lead official tonight, John Miller. He's out there perusing things in the middle of the field. Taylor offensively trying to get back to what they were a couple of years ago. They graduated 22 of the 27 goals that were scored for the Trojans a season ago. Just 3 players return with at least 1 goal a year ago. They are Peter Lynn, Jeremiah Raider, and Charbel Salako. And instead of booting one in about 5 yards inside midfield, St. Francis will play this one and operate it from the defensive half. Trying to turn is Erastus Obilo, a transfer out of Illinois. Turnover with Vander Kolk for Taylor. To Gilliam, then back to Vander Kolk, who's been very active here in the early going. Raider knocked off the ball. The pass sent back. It goes off of the head referee Miller, and USF will handle there in their defensive half, with Lynn applying pressure here against Staria. A long pass on the far sideline, sent out of bounds by USF, and it will be a Taylor throw-in from their defensive half. Almost 10 minutes gone here in this opening half of play. The home opener for the Trojans. And McBride will try to deal it off to Alberghetti. It's intercepted by Erastus Obilo, one of the top offensive players at the junior college level a year ago. Scored 23 goals and had 58 points for Wabansi Community College. Was top 10 in the junior college, top 10 at the JUCO level a year ago, was also the 2017 Illinois Skyway Collegiate Conference Player of the Year. So 32 in gold. No wonder why he's drawing two defenders on the far sideline. McBride right in his hip pocket, and he gets the ball deflect off of Erastus Obilo. And Ruel will jog back with his St. Francis teammates as Luke Williams will get this one into the near side with a left foot to Andrew Johnson. Classes have not started yet for the Taylor student body. That will come up here in about 2 weeks. The freshmen, if you're not an athlete, will move in on Friday. Then everyone else will come in through the next few days. McBride. This is James McBride, his brother Paul on the team as well. And St. Francis is able to get a turnover. Alberghetti will punch it forward and then sent right back to where it came from by USF. Bouncing across midfield, Gilliam tries to come up and win it for Taylor, and now he's got the ball at his feet. Only gold jerseys in front. He'll lay this one back to Rader, who has his legs taken right out from underneath him. There's the first foul against USF, and a free kick upcoming for Taylor about 11 yards inside midfield. They attack the goal to our right. Rader will be the one to take this one. He's the co-captain along with Andrew Johnson. And he plays it back to Salako, his classmate. Johnson to the near sideline and Hardy. Working it up to Vanderkolk, and now Rader will let it bounce back at his feet. So Taylor will try to play things from the back here. Lynn comes across the midfield, trying to push it forward, intercepted as it goes off the chest of Staria for USF. Yemen, last year's freshman of the year in the CCAC, battling forward. Hardy slides, and this one will go across the end line. It will be the first corner kick here tonight. It'll be taken by USF. Nope, it'll just be a throw-in, excuse me. Initially signaled it looked like it was going to be a corner kick. And Bilo knocking Taylor defenders away with that offhand. Taylor looking at the bench looking for a foul call that they will not get. And Lovu all the way to the far sideline in Messina. Right-footed centering ball, trying to find Yemen with the header. Mistimed his jump, and that allowed Andrew Johnson to take it away for the Trojans. Bouncing back up towards midfield. Gilliam kills it. Rader will knock it deep and allow Josiah Whelan to go chase after it. Just too far for Whelan to get after it. And Christian Bedanglo had it for a moment, but then Gilliam takes it from him. Bedanglo will push Gilliam from behind. He spills down. There's a second foul against St. Francis here tonight, and a free kick from the near sideline to be taken by Jeremiah Rader. Just past 13 minutes gone here in the opening half of play. Still no score between Taylor and St. Francis. A slow start for Taylor offensively, as Rader allows for all the jostling to take place as Lynn, Wieland, and Gilliam all kind of dance around there on the far side of the box. Rader will bend one to the far side. Lynn trying to get a charge into it. It's deflected out to the far sideline. Wieland the only one there. He'll try to play it back in. It rolls over that far sideline, and that will be a throw-in from the deep in the defensive half for USF. But Angelo was there. He was a first-team All-Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference selection a year ago for the Fighting Saints. But he lets it drop down, and he will not be the one to take this throw-in. Lynn jumps, trying to hold it in for TU. And Lovu undercut it. Johnson slides forward with a header, and then his legs were cut out from underneath by Erastus Obilo. Another foul called against St. Francis, their third. And here's another opportunity for the Trojans. Alberghetti will walk back with it and play it near midfield. Lynn, a left-footed pass to McBride. And then James McBride up the far sideline back to Lynn. Stops and waits for reinforcements. Now gold jerseys collapse all around him, trying to get a turn here as he's hog-tied around with the defender, and Lynn will be the one whistled for the foul. Peter battling with a 6'3", 205-pound Austin Staria, the transfer from UW Parkside for the St. Francis Fighting Saints. And he'll take this free kick, but it's easily stepped in front of by Taylor's Alberghetti. Lynn back across midfield to Salako. And then Alberghetti touches it off to Andrew Johnson. 8 in white, carrying to the near sideline. Now Alberghetti falls back. A little more of a defensive position as Hardy will creep up on the near side of the field. Across midfield, here's Rader, slipping one through to Vanderkolk. Then trying to center it through for the far side and to Lynn. Whelan tried to pounce on the deflected ball. And here comes St. Francis the other way, carrying up the near side of the field. Oropeza's pass stepped in front of by Hardy, and then back across midfield will be Ndlovu for USF. Gilliam trying to carry towards midfield. 2 defenders overran it for USF, but they were able to get it back. A tackling attempt by Vanderkolk comes up empty, and USF will set up here once again as their entire bench will walk towards the other far side of the field and start to stretch their legs out just a little bit. Oropeza, and back to McKenzie. To the far side to Staria. Salako steps in for Taylor, trying to head it over the back of Yemen, and the big fella Salako called for the foul and a quick restart here by USF. A foot on Johnson, and a shot will go in, and a goal is scored for USF, and Mateo Dimov, the junior transfer from Bulgaria, gets the first goal of the season for USF, and he sprints all the way to the near sideline. Will hug both of his coaches as the rest of his teammates are down there stretching in the far side corner. So that goal comes in the 18th minute. It's a 1-0 St. Francis lead here in the first half. A quick restart there by the Fighting Saints, and the speedy Mateo Dimov went sprinting down that far side of the field and just had a step on Andrew Johnson and put a right-footed shot low and hard past the Taylor keeper Williams. So the Trojans playing from behind for the second time here this season. They were down 1-0 in the first half before all that torrential rain came in and against Robert Morris earlier this week. Then they were down 4-0 before the game was ultimately called because of all the lightning that was in the area just outside of Chicago. There was an assist on the play, but that restart happened so quick on the free kick after the foul. It was tough to see. We saw Dimov sprinting up that right side of the field to our left, and he put one low and hard just off the fingertips of Williams, who got his right hand on it as he dove to his right, just could not keep it in front. So Taylor looking for the equalizer here as we approach 27 minutes remaining here in the opening half. A loose ball scooped up by Taylor's Alberghetti. Near side of the field, Alberghetti just passed him, and now here's the dangerous Yemen. But charging in was Erastus Obilo, and then he had the miscommunication with Yemen. Salako, a slow left footer, dangerous here, but Williams comes forward and drives it out of there with the right foot, with the sophomore Yemen barreling down on him. Yemen, the leading returning scorer for St. Francis, scored 9 goals a year ago, was also the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year. After USF saw their leading goal scorer graduate from a year ago, that was Muhammad Rashid with 11 goals and 26 points. 1-0 the St. Francis lead as they score on their third shot of the evening. Cleared out of here by TU to the far sideline. It will be a St. Francis throw-in. As about 3 Trojans start to get loose on the near side of the field. Eganoff, Paul McBride, and Tyler Dayoff. Obilo dancing with it. About 10 yards, just outside, 10 yards outside the 18. Dancing with his McKenzie for USF. Whelan got him tied up. Rolls out, and Vanderkolk will quickly get it restarted and heave it up to Whelan. Then he is hammered right in the back of the shoulders, and McKenzie takes him down from behind. And that's an easy foul call here, one of the captains for USF and McKenzie. 4th foul by the Saints. And Whelan will pop back to his feet, and it will be a free kick for Taylor from the near side of the field. They attack the goal to our right. They are down 1-0 here as we approach 25.5 minutes remaining before halftime. Clay Vanderkolk, the freshman, will take this one. Ball just about 15 yards inside midfield. For Trojans, maneuvering there at the top of the box. Gilliam gets a run. Vanderkolk curling it in, too short for anyone in white to make a play for it. And now St. Francis will try to play it out of their defensive end. Erastus Obilo will get it away with Salako all in his grill and try to find Nlovu. A 1-0 lead after the goal from Mateo Dimoff of St. Francis as the Trojans whistled for another foul here. Their third of the night. Taylor in the new kits, white uniforms up top, purple shorts with purple stripes on the uniforms along with purple numbers. Vanderkolk almost slipped it away from Oropeza. And this one's sent wide by USF, and it'll be another Taylor throw-in here on the near side of the field. Rader comes over, one of the co-captains, as we mentioned. He talks things over with head coach Gary Ross. And now Salaka will start things up to Alberghetti. Juan out of Argentina. To Salako and then Johnson. Thought about Hardy on the near sideline. Will slip one through across midfield. Gilliam will play it back across the midline, and now Alberghetti will go to James McBride on the far side. Lynn will turn over that left shoulder back towards midfield. Pass a little bit too far for Alberghetti. A slide in there by Yemen. Here comes USF. Dimoff has it taken away, but now down for the Trojans is Juan Alberghetti as he was slid into there, it looked like, by Joshua Yemen. We will pause as they take a look at the Argentinian Juan Alberghetti.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
So Tyler Dayoff comes in to replace Juan Alberghetti as they take a look at that lower body injury for the holding midfielder of TU. Trojans down 1-0. Gilliam trying to change that as he was in there step for step with Bedangelo. But snatching it away there was the USF keeper Ferrer Cotto. And he rolls it out to the near side. Ferrer Cotto out of Spain, wearing number 88. Was a second-team all-conference pick a year ago for USF. As they had one of their best seasons in school history in the last 7 years. Had the most wins since 2011, a year ago, when they went 10-7-2. Taylor, meanwhile, just 6-8-3, 2-6-1 in the league. They're trying to change that here. Have done a lot of different things from a team standpoint. Dimoff slipping behind the D again, sliding out as Williams, and he'll smother that one up. And for the second time tonight, Mateo Dimoff, the midfielder for USF, gets a couple steps on the Trojan defenders, and unlike the first time he got loose, He's unable to get a shot on goal here, and it remains a 1-0 St. Francis lead as Williams uncorks one with his right hand to the near sideline, and Owen Hardy will scoop it up. Gilliam, a couple defenders on his back, dim off the first one there as Gilliam looks for a foul. Long ball sent through, Raider stepping in, trying to knock it around Cotto, who slaps it out of there for the second time against a Taylor offensive player. Earlier in the half, it was Vanderkolk who got loose and trying to knock one around the jumping Cotto, and this time it was Jeremiah Raider whose shot is turned away. And it remains a 1-0 USF lead, but Taylor has been close here a couple times tonight. Hardy near sideline, dunking it off to his classmate Vanderkolk. Now to Dayoff. Dancing with it and sending it over to James McBride. Raider push from behind. The Taylor fans looking for a foul against their co-captain. But TU retains possession and they carry far sideline. Wieland. And now here's Gilliam with steps on his defenders, carrying in left side. Cole Gilliam, left-footed shot, bounced and deflected and smothered up by Ferrer Cotto for his first save of the night. But a good job there by the guy who's been one of the bright spots for Taylor in camp, Cole Gilliam, as he turned and had a couple steps on the USFD. Taylor still down 1-0, but the offense has looked much better here in the last handful of minutes after a slow start. Out of bounds near side, Vanderkolk was on it, and it stays here with TU as Hardy will throw it in for the Trojans. Into the box and the sophomore Gilliam. It bounces past him to the end line, trying to cut in, trying to play it back in, does so beautifully as Gilliam was sent down to the turf. The sophomore forward shoved down there, but just threw his leg around and was able to keep it in Taylor's favor and prevent a goal kick for USF. A foul against the Fighting Saints, their fifth. And here's a free kick for Owen Hardy on the near sideline. He walks up towards it. He'll reposition it about a hair just inside the dotted football benchmarks. Hardy puts that left hand in the air, circles near the right head. Right-footed, out-swinging ball. Salako there, a header down and in! Charbel Salako, his second career goal, ties us at 1 with 19:28 remaining in the first half. And there's the first career assist for the freshman Owen Hardy. So Taylor answers. We're knotted at 1 with 19:28 remaining here in the first half. Coming in the 27th minute. We saw Big Brother Sam do that a couple times, setting guys up. Owen is a little bit smaller than Sam was, but a little more fleet of foot. And a foul called against Lynn. So Taylor has knotted the score at 1 on the free kick from Hardy. Salako, the 6'5 Irishman, jumps into the air and knocks it down with the forehead. So we'll see if this Taylor offensive pressure can continue here. After that slow start where USF had a handful of the first shots, Taylor has gotten more settled in offensively. They tried to pounce on some miscues as USF has gotten a little sloppy with things in the defensive half. Salako a header up to Dayoff, just inside midfield. He'll dump it over to Hardy, who kind of just glides out there on those white cleats. Getting a piece of it is Vanderkolk, and this one will go out of bounds near side. Trying to send it up the sideline was McKenzie for St. Francis. Cotto to the far sideline in Staria as USF tries to carry this one out of the defensive half, but they kick it right out of bounds. And now James McBride will throw it in to the lone Tyler Dayoff. To the middle, and Vanderkolk knocks it down, trying to slip it through to Raider. And now Jeremiah will turn on the Jets and apply pressure here. Slicing in and trying to turn it up towards Taylor. He slides, takes the defender down with him. That was Oropeza. And it remains here with USF as Raider knew he was guilty right when the whistle blew. Just kind of blew a tire out as he's trying to circle up the near side. As Paul Eganoff jogs to midfield to come in here for TU. So Hardy and Sulaco trying to get dialed up once again. Just a narrow miss there on the header from Sulaco. As Eganoff comes in for TU, he replaces Cole Gilliam. 16-13 remaining here in the first half. Goals from Dimoff and Sulaco for each side. And our score tied at 1. Dimoff on a breakaway in the 18th minute. Then a free kick from Hardy to Sulaco in the 27th minute. Our only goals here tonight. Little dump near side. Eganoff will hustle after it, trying to bicycle it over his head. It goes off of his hip and stays here as USF scoops it up. 3 Taylor defenders surround Leon Leskowski. Staria to Nlovu and then back to Staria. Bedangelo. And now McKenzie. Vanderkolk almost knocked it away, and then St. Francis is forced to turn it over deep in their defensive half. It goes out, and Taylor will throw it in. Just about the box line extended near side as Hardy will jog in. 15-15 remaining before halftime. Taylor and St. Francis knotted at 1. Hardy's throw-in headed out across the end line, and this one will be the first corner of the night for either side. It'll be taken by the freshman Clay Vanderkolk. He'll take this with a right foot, right hand in the air. Approaches an out-swinging ball to the top of the box. Sulaco fighting around a defender, knocked in, and that one just goes wide as Eganoff almost put Taylor ahead 2-1 as his left-footed shot just went wide of the near side post. Taylor's offense has been much, much better here recently, and that tying tally with Sulaco has given them new life. Whelan almost pounces on Cotto as now the Taylor forwards flying around here trying to keep the ball in their attacking half. Messina, a centering ball, and Lovu, long pass up to Dimoff, the only St. Francis scorer tonight. Dimoff's left-footed pass will find Yemen left side. Left-footed shot goes off the post and stays out. And then Sulaco will clear it away with the right foot. Yemen almost put St. Francis on top for the second time tonight, but his left-footed curler went right to the far side post. It hit it square and then bounced back into the field of play, and it remains an even contest at 1 goal aside. Yemen, as we mentioned, the CCAC Freshman of the Year a year ago. Also a first-team all-conference selection. So no slouches, 19 in gold. And a foul called here against the Trojans. St. Francis will have the free kick along the near side of the field. 6th foul against Taylor. Dimoff, the goal scorer, will take it for the Fighting Saints. Hardy and Eganoff, a 2-man wall, will stand in front of him. Right foot in curling ball to the back, and this one goes wide of the far side post. Last touched by Taylor, and so this will be a corner from the far side to be taken by USF, their first corner of the night. Mason Brook jogging. He looks to come at the next dead ball. Santillo will take it far side for USF. An out-curling ball that Lynn will bash up towards midfield, and a violation called against St. Francis, and it'll be a goal kick for TU. So Paul McBride will also come in here with Mason Brook. Brook replaces Vanderkolk, and Paul McBride will replace Wieland. So James McBride back there on defense. Now has actually slipped up to a little bit of a midfield position. His brother Paul, who's got the blonde braids flapping with every step, has moved up to one of the two or three forward spots for TU. Brook applying pressure, goes across the end line. It will be off of Brook, and a goal kick upcoming here for St. Francis. Now the Fighting Saints will call on their first two subs of the night. It'll be Vicente Tayelos along with Kevin Sanchez. The goal scorer Dimoff will exit along with Oro Peza. So the first two subs of the night come in here for USF. As now Paul McBride will apply pressure. Chesting down to Messina near side. Then Yemen will slip around Johnson. Here comes the big fella Salako stepping in and stops the motion and the path of Yemen right in his tracks. Deflected across the end line, last touched by whom? St. Francis, and so it'll be a goal kick for Luke Williams of TU. Williams left foots it over to Johnson. 10:40 remaining first half, 1-1 score between Taylor and St. Francis. Brook shoved from behind. Leskowski will take it away from him. Now he spins away from Rader, then right foots one to the far side, and Kevin Sanchez. Sanchez to Nlovu. Tried to run the give and go with him. It rolls past, but scooped up by Tayelos. Here's Obilo, the offensive JUCO transfer. Yemen open, top of the box. That one blocked away by Johnson. Still inside the box for USF. Obilo goes after it, knocked away from him. And McBride, this is Paul McBride, will work it up for TU. Lynn, a big right foot far side, and hustling after it's going to be Eganoff. He'll be the first one, too, as he beats Benangelo there. Eganoff to his right. McBride, a tap into space, but no one in white there for TU. Cleared out of there by the St. Francis defense, and the Trojans will have a throw-in from the far side of the field. James McBride will throw it in for TU. Day off pointing him where he wants to throw it. McBride still holding it over his head. Threw it over brother Paul's head, and now USF able to pick up that loose ball. Obilo marked by Sanchez or by Salako. Long pass far side to Nlovu. James McBride marks him. Faking a pass is Sanchez, carrying forward with that right foot, now working back to his left. Stolen by Lynn of Taylor as he carries up the far sideline. Try to work it through to Eganoff, who hopped in the air, couldn't get the ball to roll through to McBride. Now Lynn will sashay his way in from the far sideline. He lays it back to Paul McBride. A pass with pace that Rader will allow Brook to roll to his feet. Hardy. Nice little saucy pass from Rader. He gets it back from Brook. Then his dribble was too strong. It's taken away by the sliding Messina, who is now slow to get back up after he briefly collided with Jeremiah Rader of TU. Johnson darts forward, slides, and heads that one out of there. As Salako and Erastus Obilo were hand-fighting near midfield. Sixth foul of the night called against St. Francis. 8:12 and counting remaining in the first half. 1-1 our score between TU and USF out of Illinois. Salaka will take this free kick a yard outside midfield. Obilo walking, and you could hear Taylor head coach Gary Ross wanting to get those 10 yards that's allowed for a free kick. And now Yemen will walk into the right side of Salako. Right footing in, Lynn onside, chesting it down into space, but he's whistled for offside. Good idea there from the Trojans as Lynn looked like he was shot out of a cannon coming up the right side of the field. Then a late offside call as he chested it down. It was going to be a tough shot for Peter to get off, the junior from Germantown, Tennessee, with the defender coming on his back. And our score remains tied at 1 here with just about 7 minutes remaining in the opening half. Sanchez turning away from Lynn. A slide tackle from Sulaco, deemed too aggressive as both he and Obilo take into the turf. And it'll be a free kick for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis. A right foot from Benangelo, trying to find Yemen. Hardy just got the forehead on it and kept Yemen from having an easy, clear receive. Out of bounds near side, a throw in for Messina and St. Francis. Dayoff got a piece of it, still dangerously in the center. Rader knocking it down, and then Jeremiah will be called for the foul. He steps in, and he is not too pleased, and now Rader will be assessed a card for arguing his case too strongly with head official John Miller. Clock is stopped at 6:15. It looked like Miller was going to go to the card, and then cooler heads prevailed as Rader came over and was able to explain himself and get an explanation. Miller's hand was on the card. It looked like he was ready to issue it to Rader. But Jeremiah Rader just talked himself out of a yellow card. Well done by the senior co-captain. Here's a dangerous opportunity. McKenzie about 23 yards out. Free kick, right foot curling in. That one wide right of the goal. So a goal kick with just about 6 minutes remaining here in the first half from Taylor and Luke Williams. He started again in that postponed game earlier this week. Hardy driving one deep, and here's Rader behind that USFD. Rader slide tackle from underneath, and this one rolls out of bounds near sideline. It will be a throw-in for Taylor, but good runs here by the last two Trojans, first Lynn and now Rader. Hardy, who has the only assist for Taylor tonight, throws it into McBride, turning to the end line. Right-footed cross, and snagged out of there by Cotto. Big right foot from Cotto. Sulaco heads into the air for Taylor. 5:15 remaining here in the opening half. 1-1 the score between Taylor and St. Francis. As the Trojan D will bash it deep. Cotto will snag it inside the goal, inside the 18-yard box. And he rolls it out to the near side, and McKenzie. McKenzie back to Benangelo. And then towards the far sideline and Staria. And Lovu to Staria for USF. And St. Francis being very patient here with 4:30 and ticking here in the first half. They scored the first goal in the 18th minute on Dimoff's breakaway on a quick restart on a free kick. And then Taylor answered with a free kick of their own. Hardy, the freshman, set up the senior Sulaco. That came in the 27th minute, and Taylor and St. Francis deadlocked at 1. Laskowski back to Messina near side. Two Taylor defenders there. Hardy knocks him off of his path. The loose ball scooped up by Johnson of TU, and he right foots a big one up the near sideline. McKenzie with Paul McBride right on him, and then Rader intercepts. He's got Egan off to his left, and he'll dump it off to Paul McBride. His back pass intended for Rader deflected away, held in here by USF's Sendelovu. Then he works it all the way back towards the goal and the keeper, Cotto. Dayoff's legs taken out from underneath him. Eganoff to the middle of the field and Rader. Little dump to McBride, a little pop in the air. There's Dayoff trying to curl it forward. Ball still loose. I thought I heard a whistle down there. Rader slides, trying to hold it in. It's all the way back to Peter Lind. He'll tee this one up. Backside is day off. He leans in and he can't get his head on it as it bounces across the end line. It will be a goal kick for USF, but Taylor just a couple inches away from taking their first lead of the season. Less than 3 minutes to go here in the opening half. 1-1 our score between Taylor and USF, but the Trojans offense much stronger here towards the end of half number 1. Hardy back heels it over to Brook. Collides, last touched by the transfer Mason Brook from Trinity International University. Sophomore from Peoria, Illinois, playing in his first season here at Taylor. Sanchez far sideline carrying up for USF. He's one of a couple of reserves. His centering ball, Salako almost deflected it into his own net, and Luke Williams was able to leap in the air and punch that one away as the Trojans almost scored an own goal and put themselves down 2-1. Williams needed all 6 feet 2 inches of that frame to leap up there and punch the ball away. Here's a corner far side. Leskowski will take it here for USF, the second corner of the night for the Fighting Saints. 1:43 left to go before halftime. Outward bending ball, deflected up to the top of the box, trying to hold it in as McKenzie runs past one defender. Johnson, the only one there for TU, sliding away. Obilo's right-footed shot blocked by McBride. The deflection is in, and that's going to put USF up 2-1 as Kevin Sanchez knocks in the deflected ball. With 1:27 remaining here in the opening half, St. Francis has gone back on top as Kevin Sanchez scores for the first time this season. So that goal comes in the 44th minute. USF now on top 2-1 as Lynn sent sliding on the far side. Just about a minute remaining in the opening half. We'll see if Taylor wants to get one final push here before the halftime whistle is blown. Day off, a big right foot. Eganoff knocks it down to Lynn. Taylor from left to right in white. USF defends in gold.
1 minute remaining.
Day off to James McBride. Then back across midfield. Salako steps in. Ball still loose. Salako hustling after towards midfield. He's Taylor's only goal scorer tonight. And he dishes off to the man who assisted him in Owen Hardy. 40 seconds and counting. First half. Taylor down for the second time tonight. Down 2-1. Big blast from Salako's right foot over Rader's head. It will be easily snagged by Koto, the keeper of USF. And with less than 30 seconds remaining before halftime, that should just about do it for this first half of play. St. Francis won't take any chances. Rader comes in. He'll force Koto to pick it up. And they'll drive it up the near side. Messina heading it along. Yemen hustling after it with 7 seconds left. You can hear the countdown going on in the background. Yemen in no hustle to go after this one. And that's going to be how the first half will come to a close. So a goal in the 18th minute by Dimoff gives St. Francis a 1-0 lead. Salako on the assist from Hardy evens it up. But then a goal on a bouncing ball inside the box by Sanchez. Kevin Sanchez in the 44th minute gives St. Francis a 2-1 lead after the first half of play. We'll be back with the BSN Sports Halftime Report after this commercial break here on the Trojan Sports Network.
The decision you're making is about so much more than where you'll spend the next 4 years. It's about how you'll live the next 40. So let me break down the Taylor University experience. We integrate faith and learning to become well-rounded, lifelong learners, while delivering a deeper knowledge of our specific areas of study. Whether you're producing award-winning films, building satellites for NASA, or preparing for a national ethics debate, Taylor will push you to excel in your field. But excellence isn't always about having the right answers. Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Taylor is interdenominational. That means we can't always fall back on specific church doctrine to settle issues. We rely on scripture and the dynamic nature of iron sharpening iron to better know the God who's not afraid of our question. Much of this happens in the small town of Upland, Indiana, the place where Taylor does life together. But don't let this small town fool you. The schedule is packed with things to do, and through these activities, faculty, staff, and students become more than individuals occupying the same address. They become a community. But this community isn't limited to the campus. We travel, boy do we travel. We are ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for overseas experiences. But it isn't just about the going. It's about the sharing of those experiences and being challenged by those who come to Upland as their international experience. Taylor is one of a few Christian colleges that expects all students to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, this doesn't mean Taylor is a Christian Disneyland full of cardboard cutout perfection. Taylor is full of real people with real problems, and living together can get kind of messy. But in that mess, we take Jesus' call from John 13 seriously. We practice picking up our towel and dealing with the mess in each other's lives. We're not here just to follow the rules for 4 years. Instead, we hope to learn to live authentic lives, calling each other to lives of meaning. Every day, our focus remains on the 40, not just the 4. We'd love to show you more about Taylor. Come visit, sit in on a class, go to chapel, spend a night in a residence hall. Experience the difference for yourself.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com.
Play that old song! You really want her to play it. That's what's really going to open her. You gotta have the music that you listeners listen to.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student athletes.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH, from our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments, in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Second half back underway here from Turner Stadium as the Trojans of Taylor try to tie our score at 2. They're down 2-1 to start the second half off. Josiah Whelan gets the start here in the second half. He came off the bench in half number 1 for TU. He and Gilliam are the forwards up top as Taylor now goes from right to left. Day off, the only non-game starter out there, as he takes the spot of Juan Alberghetti, the starting midfielder, who got rolled up on about midway through that first half and has his shoe off or cleat off, and so he will not be coming back, it looks like, for the rest of the night. Whelan gets the start over the freshman Holwerda here in half 2. Trojans attacking the goal to our left, down by 1. USF attacks the goal to our right. Joshua Yemen in a foot race with Salako near side of the field. Salako weaving in front of him, and then he puts that big shoulder into him. And that allows that ball to roll across the end line. And it'll be a goal kick here for TU. Trojans in their new white jerseys and purple shorts with purple lines on those uniforms, purple numbers as well. The numbers on the shorts are in white on the right thigh. USF is in gold with white numbers and white stripes on their uniform. Not even 2 minutes into the second half, and a goal kick here from Williams. Held in by Tayelos of USF. And now Dayoff, who has some protective wrap on that right forearm, will work it forward. Gilliam with Bedangelo on his back will rotate it and work it to the far side. Held in here now dangerously, almost away from Cotto, the keeper, and he's got to clear this one out to the far side. It stays in as he got a lot of backspin on that kick and didn't cleanly get it out to the far sideline. Now Yemen a one-touch in. It goes off with the shoulder of Salako, puts his hand in the air, and offside is called, as who was the guilty party for USF? It was Ndlovu who went streaming forward. So an offside call against USF, their first of the night. Taylor has been whistled for one as well. And Johnson will be the one to take the free kick here for TU. Right footing it up to Rader, then back to Johnson. Then a turnover, and now here's at midfield, but then Lynn steps right in, almost getting bear hugged from behind by Sanchez. The goal scorer has given USF this 2-1 lead. Johnson a big right foot. Vanderkolk into space near side. Lynn hustling. He will get to it before Staria can. Lynn trying to work it around him, but then Staria kicks it across the end line. It'll be a corner from the near side taken by TU. And Vanderkolk will take this corner. He's taken both corners tonight here for the Trojans. This one he'll be able to swing it in from the near side of the field, being a dominant right-footed player. Right hand into the air, foot into the ball. Middle of the box, bouncing around. Out to the near side. Vanderkolk will punch it towards the middle. Dayoff tracking. And now time is called and stopped. There's a man down inside the 18 for USF. And the athletic training staff will come out to check on him. We will pause momentarily for this injury timeout. The hurt player was Mateo Dimoff of USF, their first goal scorer. He is back to better health, jogs to midfield, and he will join the fray very quickly. Johnson will carry out of the defensive half. A big right foot to midfield. Wieland touching it off to Rader, hustling after it. Vander Kolk, back heel kick to keep it in, but it just takes one revolution, the ball does, across the far sideline, and a throw-in in traffic upcoming for St. Francis. And Lovu caught between two Taylor defenders. They're whistled for the foul. And it will be another free kick, this time taken by the newly healed Mateo Dimoff. And now we look down, we see Taylor's Juan Alberghetti has his other shoe back on, trying to get loose. Yemen working it in, end line. A little shot saved by Williams, his first save here of the second half. And it remains a 2-1 lead here for St. Francis as the Argentinian Alberghetti starts to get loose here on the near sideline, checking things over with the athletic trainer for Taylor. And a restart. We'll have to push the ball back to Williams for Taylor from Sulaco. Williams right foots one up. Lynn heading it towards midfield. And Lovu down to Dimoff. This will be Staria pushing it forward. Sanchez turns it over. Rader lets the ball come to him and tries to dance with it, avoiding defenders. He tries to get the fancy footwork going. He slices through two USF men. Dayoff will lay it back to Johnson. A pass across midfield to Vander Kolk. And then to Dayoff, who rotates and dinks it along to Sulaco. Hammers one up. Lynn dropping it back to James McBride. Sulaco faking a pass, got Sanchez to bind it. Now McBride will work with it and give off to Sulaco. 6 minutes gone here, half number two. Taylor down 2-1. One up the left side, Gilliam sandwiched between two defenders, pressed on. Lynn right there, bouncing, still trying to find it, and then it'll be cleared out of there by Staria of USF. Dayoff trying to play it forward. Sulaco will take Yemen down from behind and be whistled for the foul. Dimoff into the penalty area, headed along off the head of Yemen, last year's freshman of the year in the CCAC. And the shot will be sent out of bounds, and Williams will be the one to drive it back in for TU. So Alberghetti down there stretching out that right ankle and right foot after getting hurt in the first half. But has got the boot back on and looks to be stretching things out, trying to maybe come back in here for Taylor. Lynn trying to track the bouncing goal kick from Williams. Gives off to Sulaco, then up forward to Gilliam. Slices through a couple men. It'll be at the feet of Yemen of USF. They lead 2-1. Here just about 8 minutes gone here in half two. The season opener for St. Francis. Taylor opened up on Wednesday of this week, but that game was postponed due to strong storms throughout the Chicago area when they were up at Robert Morris. Vander Kolk will dink one through between two defenders. Now Rader with a little room to work. Stopping and starting. Left footing one all the way to the near side of the field, and Lynn, as Staria marks him. Lynn moving to the middle of the field will find the trailing Dayoff. Far side to Vander Kolk. And now back to Hardy. Left footing, trying to slice it on Dayoff. Intercepted. Now here comes a counter from St. Francis. Yemen behind the D, hustling after it is Johnson. The shot is in and wide as Yemen misses a wide open goal. As sliding after it to alternate was Luke Williams as he barks instructions at his defenders. They'll ask and see if Williams got a piece of it. They'll say that he did. And now Williams not happy with it, and that's going to result in a corner here for St. Francis. Third corner of the night for St. Francis. Mateo Dimoff will take this one from the far side of the field. He'll take it with the right foot, which will mean he'll be able to bend it in, which he will. Williams punching it out of there with the right hand as he was jostling for position with Kevin Sanchez. And Sanchez will be the one called for the foul. It'll be a goal kick here for TU, taken by Williams, or a kick taken just in front of the goal box. Salako curling one. Lynn will chase after it, too far over his head, bouncing out of bounds, and it goes right back to the Fighting Saints of St. Francis. But Angelo, Whelan hustling, and then driven out of there by Cotto, the keeper, before Whelan could apply some real heavy pressure on him. Gilliam stopping and starting. Taken off the foot by McKenzie. Then working through the tackle is Benangelo of Hardy. Day off will be called for a card here as he takes Benangelo down from behind. After Rader talked his way out of a card earlier, this one an easy one. And day off the guilty party. First card called to either side. Remember, Alex Gallup, who got the start for Taylor on Wednesday night at Robert Morris, not playing tonight, even though that game was postponed due to weather. The red card that Gallup earned in that first half still in effect, and so he is out tonight. Luke Holwarden now getting loose for Taylor on the near sideline. Free kick sent in, backside, snatched out of there on a bounce by Williams with Yemen right in front of him. Taylor from right to left in white and purple. St. Francis defends in gold. Gilliam, a good run to the middle of the field. Slips as he passes it over to the near sideline, and Lynn. Staria marking him. Lynn will try to work to the left side, now pressing in. An extra defender comes in to help, takes it right off of Lynn's foot. Then a handball is called on the clearance attempt by St. Francis. Holwarden will be summoned. Quinn Partain in as well.
15, Quinn Partain.
Partain, the younger brother of Gabe Partain. He and Hardy teammates at Wheaton Academy last year. And Partain putting his nose right in the middle of his now. He runs circles around the keeper, Cotto. With Yemen marking him, shoving Partain from behind once or twice. And so the co-captain, the tri-captain, Jeremiah Rader will take this corner. Third corner of the night for TU. They're down by 1. Just about 12 minutes into the second half. Backside, Whelan's jumping in there, but it goes off the side of his head and went back towards the middle of the field. He went firing in there like a rocket and just went off the side of his head instead of the forehead. Was able to outjump everybody there on the far side of the penalty area and just couldn't get it on frame. Holwarden back in for TU for the first time here in the second half, along with the younger Partain. Rader cutting in, trying to slice through, and just in front, then dropped, and almost snatching it away was Rader with that right foot, but Cotto fell on that ball just in the nick of time for St. Francis. Salako has the goal kick, go off the top of his head. Johnson can't get a good clearance, and now will be able to bicycle it over the top, over his head. 3 Wheaton Academy graduates from a year ago on the field right now in Partain, Holwarden, and Hardy. Wheaton Academy has been a factory for Taylor men's soccer recruits in recent years. And there might be up to 5 guys on this roster that were at Wheaton Academy a year ago. Yemen, too early of a start. Offside the call. It remains 2-1. Another good run here by St. Francis early on in the second half. Second offside that USF has been whistled for here tonight. And Alberghetti looks to be coming back in as he now gets stretched out here on the near side of the field. It'll Obilo and Oropeza doing the same thing for USF on their sideline. 13.5 minutes into the second half, still a 2-1 USF lead. As Dimoff will take the ball right away from Gilliam. Now Dimoff down after colliding with Salako. A back heel kick. You can hear Dimoff yelling in the background and then pops right back to his feet. Partain taken away from him by Sanchez. And Lovu hustling after it for USF. Hardy right on top of him. Back to the middle. Dayoff jostling with Sanchez, and they call Sanchez for the foul as he and Dayoff got tangled up. And here's another goal kick for TU. The second one will be Partain's. Trying to connect with Gilliam. And now Gilliam gets it back. Dancing around a tackle, then Dimoff gets tangled up with Gilliam, and he's taken down, and now Taylor will try to quick start here. But they couldn't get to the ball cleanly in time and set it down, and now time is called. And a yellow card has been issued here to Vicente Tejelos of USF. And then Rader got the ball going just before he was allowed to, as he saw the streaking Partain up the near side of the field. 15 minutes and 5 seconds have been played in the second half between Taylor and St. Francis. The Fighting Saints lead 2-1, but here's Salako jogging into the box. Hardy, who found him for the only goal, trying to send it in here. A long ball in, but an easy snag for Cotto, the keeper. That one is a little bit too far for both Salako and Whelan, who were charging hard in after it. Next home game for Taylor is this upcoming Tuesday night against Trinity Christian. Holwarda to Hardy. Slips one through to Whelan. Dancing with it away from Messina. And then back across the midline and Andrew Johnson. Right-footed pass up, just gets a piece of McKenzie, the USF defender. But nobody there in white for TU. And now Gilliam will jog in, and Cotto will kick this one away to the near side of the field in Staria. Partain marking him in the back. And this one bounces away from the intended target, Sanchez, and McBride will let it roll to him. And McBride tangled up with Sanchez, who will be called for the foul. And there's the free kick for Taylor from their defensive half. Salako will play it forward. Rader heading it back towards Gilliam, the sophomore. Volleying into the air, and now Rader will try to turn towards midfield over that left shoulder. Runs into Sanchez, and they call Rader for the foul as Sanchez stood right there, then Rader shoved him down. Jeremiah not too particularly happy with that call, but they'll still go back and play a little defense here. Staria trying to find Sanchez. And the aerial loss as Sanchez goes colliding with McBride. Rader, a quick restart here for the Trojans. Gilliam trying to keep it in, deflected out of bounds by Sanchez. It will be another TU throw-in here just in front of the St. Francis bench along the near sideline. This will send in the air almost to us. It was a good throw from whoever was up here. They threw that thing on a rope. And James McBride will get it in. Gilliam shoved out. But the call say Gilliam is out. And USF will throw it in. Returning are Oropeza and Ruel Orestes Obilo. They replace Sanchez and Yemen. Still 2-1 the lead for St. Francis. Their second goal coming in the 44th minute back there in the first half by Sanchez, who just checked out. Gilliam trying to turn, slides it up towards Rader. He's got Dimoff on his back. A little stop and start hesitation move gives him some free space. He collides with Staria, and St. Francis is able to get this one out of here momentarily. McBride hops into the air. Partain will push it forward. And then Partain taken down and holds that left leg, but then pops right back up. The whistle blew, but the clock continues to run. Partain trying to circle in behind the USF defense. Salako jogging in, and that draws the attention of the St. Francis defenders. Raider will take this one. A free kick about 18 yards inside midfield. Curling in. Salako's there with a shoulder, and that one, though, goes flying over the crossbar. Salako in traffic had to go off the left shoulder as he tried to swing that shoulder in there. Holwerda was in there as well, but that one goes sailing across over the crossbar and remains a 2-1 deficit for Taylor. Partain wins it. Over to his former high school teammate Holwerda, and day off into space, but nobody there. Except the green artificial surface here of the Turner Stadium. Whelan hustling after McKenzie. Then a long pass slipped between two Taylor attackers. And then USF works it forward. Salako heads it out near side. It lands into the bleachers. And the Saints will throw this one in from just in front of their own bench. They lead 2-1 with 25 minutes remaining here in regulation. Dimoff heading it back towards midfield. Salako trying to get his foot on it. Johnson back, and then Partain will knock this one into the air. Centering right-footed ball into the air. And it will bounce out of bounds across the end line, and this one will be a corner here for USF. Fourth corner of the night for the Saints. They lead 2-1. Dimoff on the near sideline along with Taylor, who stands directly to his left. Taylor with two defenders forward, anticipating a short play. That's knocked into the 18, deflected back out towards the near sideline where Partain will clear with the right foot. Alberghetti, Vanderkolk, and Lynn all stretching out here near midfield, waiting to come back in. Long pass, no one there except Luke Williams, the Taylor keeper. They'll roll it out to Salako. Up to Raider. Turning at midfield, stopping, and surveying the field in front of him. Day off, a bullet through. Partain had to come back on side. That was right before Dayoff drilled that one deep. A good idea from the young sophomore from Beaver Creek, Ohio. And now the ball will be in the hands of Ferrer Cotto, the Spaniard keeper for USF. McBride back there for Taylor. Got his heel on it. Cannot get to it in time before it rolls out of play. And Oropeza will throw it in for USF. Obilo's left-footed shot goes wide as he was carrying towards the top of the 18.
Now in the game for Taylor. Number 3.
Partain, Dayoff, and Holwerda exit.
5,
Juan Alberghetti, Lynn, along with Vanderkolk come in here for Taylor. 22 minutes and counting remaining in this second half of play. Trojans down 2-1 as they look for the equalizing tally. They trailed 1-0 after the 18th minute, got the tying goal in the 27th on Sulaco's header. And then Sanchez scored in the 44th minute right before halftime to put USF back in front by 1. USF will kick this one out of bounds far side. It bounces on through. Wieland close to it. And now he'll scoop it up momentarily. Rader hustling but can't get to it before McKenzie drives this one deep. To the near sideline and Oropeza. James McBride marking him. Oropeza end line crossing. Sulaco got his head on it. Williams will leap into the air and snatch the ball out of the sky. Taylor needs to push this one forward. And try to capture some of that offensive magic that they had back towards the end of the first half. Gilliam jostling with Bedangolo. That's out in a foul against TU, so a free kick upcoming for St. Francis. McKenzie to take it for St. Francis from their defensive half. As we're 3 seconds away from hitting the 20-minute to go mark here in the second half. Punch on through. Oropeza there, right-footed shot, getting a piece of it, but just glancing in off the crossbar, and a goal for Edgar Oropeza. With 19:52 remaining here in the second half, USF has taken a 3-1 lead.
Goal for St. Francis by Edgar Oropeza. Assist by Vincent Tejelos.
So Tejelos will get the assist. Oropeza, in his first season at USF, a junior transfer from Truman College. He's just outside of Chicago. And now Taylor down 2 with 19:50 remaining on the clock, and now they're going to have to start pressing this ball forward, trying to not just get 1 to tie the game, they need 2 to tie it, down 3-1. Sulaco playing it deep, Vander Kolk in a foot race. Has it taken off the heel by Santillo. That's out of bounds, and it will go back to the Fighting Saints. After getting one last swig of water, Dayoff is back to midfield to check back in for TU. But St. Francis taking all the time they need. McKenzie, though, unsure where he's supposed to play this free kick. Turned his palms to the sky. Then Sulaco will head it up towards Dimoff. Whistle blows, a foul against St. Francis, and so Rader will quickly restart from just about midfield. Lynn with the ball at his feet, turning back towards midfield over that left shoulder. McBride dancing with it beautifully through 2 defenders, now off to Lynn. But it's spun away by Messina and up the middle of the field, stepped in front of by Johnson of Taylor to intercept the pass. Wieland, bump from behind, ball goes right back to Rader, slipping one through to Wieland. Too hard on the initial touch, but his jersey was tugged upon, and the foul called against USF. Good kick there by the head coach, Gary Ross. 18-10 and counting in regulation. Taylor down 2 here in the home opener. Second game of the year for TU. Their first one was postponed before we got to the 70-minute mark to make it an official game. So they come in with a 0-0 record. Same thing for St. Francis in their true season opener. A whole gaggle of guys and players on the far side of the field awaiting this free kick from Rader. They're all towards that very far up corner of the penalty area. Rader, a low curler to the middle and easily snagged by Cotto, the keeper, with no traffic in front of him. He drives it deep, lets Oropeza to go into a foot race with Johnson. Williams comes in trying to head it out of there. Couldn't get a piece of it, but McBride, James McBride, will scoop it up for Taylor and take it out of a dangerous position. But a turnover in the middle of the field. Yemen, long left-footed shot. Williams tracks it and watches it sail wide. But was it blocked? It was. So Taylor player got a piece of it. And it'll be the 5th corner of the evening for St. Francis. They lead by 2 with 16:56 and counting here in the second half. It'll be Dimoff, the first goal scorer of the night. He'll play it short, curling near side. McKenzie trying to go far post. Owen Hardy watches that one sail out of bounds, and it will be a goal kick for Luke Williams of TU. Day off returns. Paul McBride will return for Taylor as well.
Now in the game for Taylor.
Vanderkolk out, replaced by Day off.
Number 11.
Lynn will exit, and Paul McBride will take his spot. Taylor going with 3 forwards here. Paul McBride, Gilliam, and Wieland. And Jeremiah Rader moving up there as well. He led the team in assists 2 years ago. He's their leading returning goal scorer with 2. After Taylor graduated and lost 22 of the 27 goals scored a season ago. Tejelos back to Oropeza. Oropeza's goal has given USF this 3-1 advantage. Now he battles with James McBride on the near sideline. Rader got his foot on it, hustling in front of that USF bench, sent out. Last touch by the Fighting Saints, and Taylor will get it back on a throw-in along the near sideline. Heading it down and out of bounds is Benangelo. Ross, the head coach for Taylor, will throw it into Gilliam. Staria slides and knocks this one out of here. As Paul McBride will wait for his brother James to come in for the throw, and it'll be called off, and it'll be Andrew Johnson to take it. With less than 15 minutes to go here in the second half, Taylor down by 2, 3-1. Johnson, as he customarily does, backs all the way up on the concrete to get a good running start. A little skip when he reaches the artificial surface and fires it in. Headed out of there by the USF defense. And now Oropeza will go far sideline to Ruel Erastus Obilo, one of the top goal scorers in the JUCO level a year ago. Has not been a big factor here tonight, but can explode at any time. Yemen trying to get a step on Salako, who boots it away. But Messina will hold it in for St. Francis, then right back to Erastus Obilo. Good move to the end line by Obilo. Left-footed shot snagged away by Luke Williams. The one corks a right-handed fireball at the near sideline to Rader. Legging it out, only defenders in front. A low pass that Paul McBride is able to handle, then deflected out by Staria. 13:54 remaining second half. Taylor down by 2, needing goals and needing them quickly. Alberghetti to throw it in. To the corner, he'll find Wieland. McKenzie defending him as Wieland backs him up to the corner. Moving to his right, he'll curl up to Alberghetti. Oropeza comes up to pressure from behind, and then he'll go all the way back to James McBride. Johnson cuts this pass off in the middle of the field for Taylor. Then deflects it to the near side where McBride to McBride. Wieland, he's got Rader in front, trying to go back to McBride. This was Paul McBride. Now Alberghetti will work it back to James McBride. Left footer over to Johnson. And that pass will curl away, and here's Owen Hardy. Stopping and starting, trying to get a step on Obilo. Deflected back in by USF and then held in by Cole Gilliam of TU. Rader trying to kill it. Back heel kick. McBride, long range shot, blocked. And then cleared out of there by USF. Johnson trying to hold in. Bounces past him, and Salako will be there to jostle for position with Yemen. A slide tackle takes down Salako. Yemen not happy with it. But the Foul call gives it back to Taylor with 12:33 remaining in the second half. Trojans down by 2. The ball rolls all the way back across midfield. That gives James McBride a head start. Left footing to Whelan, a little touch off to Paul McBride. Now back to Whelan. Right-footed long shot, and diving and stopping it is Ferrer Cotto off to his right. As Whelan tried to dial it up from long distance, about 20 yards out, 23 yards away. But with 12 minutes remaining in regulation, it's still a 2-goal advantage here for St. Francis. Alberghetti back to Johnson. And then right back to Alberghetti. Rader gets away from Oropeza. Couldn't get enough juice on the pass to Paul McBride. And here comes USF on a counter, but Alberghetti steps in front and deflects it right to Rader, who sees Whelan cutting far side. He finds him, but it just goes past him as Whelan got his legs tangled up with someone there on the far side. It was Santillo of USF. And will look to be an expertly placed pass, just a little bit off target. And Ferrer Cotto will walk this one up for USF. They lead 3-1 with just about 11 minutes remaining here in the game tonight. A foul is called. They'll say it's on either McBride, that's James McBride, or Salako of Taylor for jumping on the back of the USF player. And Dimoff will take this free kick. Rader standing in front of him. Into the penalty area. Williams easily snags it. And Rader will lay this one back to Hardy. Long pass up the far sideline, trying to find Gilliam. But USF able to win it, and they'll handle things in the defensive half right now as we approach 10 minutes remaining in the second half. A 3-1 lead for USF. The Fighting Saints out of Illinois trying to win their first contest of the season. Obilo back to the middle. Messina to Yemen. Long left-footed shot punched away by Williams. Hardy's there, slides and knocks it out of play before Obilo could get to it.
Now in the game for St. Francis, number 7, Leon Laskowski, and number 15, Kevin Sanchez.
As you can hear, Leon Laskowski along with Kevin Sanchez have returned here for St. Francis. Messina's shot, getting his head on it, was Johnson. It goes across the end line. A corner upcoming here for St. Francis. Time the enemy of Taylor. Down by 2 with less than 9 minutes remaining in regulation. Offense has gotten to a little bit of a rut here in the second half. They have really been unable to try to create anything. With USF taking their time to get over to the far corner, the time is stopped at 8:40 remaining in the second half. Mateo Dimoff, the first goal scorer of the night, trying to burn as much time as possible. Hardy got his head on it, but they'll say USF touched it last, and so Williams will have the goal kick here for TU. Down 3-1 with 8:24 and counting here in the second half. Salako dribbles out of trouble with the defenders closing in, but then Messina steps in front of the pass for St. Francis. Salako takes it away. Dayoff, shoulder jousting with Lakowski. It was touched by Dayoff and remains here with they'll say it goes off of Laskowski, and so Paul McBride will give it off to brother James and let him throw it in. Near sideline, 10 yards outside of midfield. Rader chesting it twice, 3 defenders around him, trying to win it back for TU. Dayoff will volley this one in. Taylor will try to get on a run here, and then McKenzie will sky this one north for USF. Dayoff slicing in, goes off of his left foot and out of bounds. Back to St. Francis, the ball goes. Staria will throw it in. Dayoff fighting for position and heads it forward for TU. Messina stepping in for USF. Alberghetti slides through two defenders and keeps the ball at his feet. Over to Whelan, right side of the field. Now he'll dance with it back to the middle. Dayoff's long pass deflected back. Johnson and Hardy are there for Taylor. Hardy will spring into the air. But the ball taken away by Obilo, who's taken down by Dayoff. A foul against TU with 6:49 remaining in the second half. Trojans down by a pair to St. Francis of Illinois. Step over move from Obilo. Hardy with him step for step, a slide. And Hardy sends it across the end line, preventing Obilo for a chance to center the ball. Seventh corner of the night upcoming here for USF. It'll be from the far side once again. And again, they'll take their time getting over there. Time is in their favor right now, leading by 2. Head official John Miller giving the sign to hurry it up. And now time will be stopped again with 6:09 left in regulation. A short kick. Dimoff will just stand on this one in the corner and let the Taylor defenders come after him. Paul McBride up. And now Rader with some space with most of the St. Francis players back there deep. Johnson looking James McBride's way, playing it to him. The freshman turns on the afterburners and catches it near side. He's got his brother Paul cutting in. Left-footed pass to the middle. Eganoff trying to head it to the far corner, and it just rolls wide as Taylor remains down by 2, approaching 5:30 remaining in the second half. Eganoff comes in for TU. He replaces Gilliam. And Lovu comes in, I should say. He replaces Mateo Dimoff, who scored the first goal of the night for USF. The clock approaches 5 minutes left in the second half. And Ferrer Cotto knocks this one deep. And then Hardy will keep this one in play. And Obilo there to scoop it up. Yemen through 2 defenders. Salako, nice little dink around 1 defender. We'll work at far sideline. This is Eganoff, the senior. Back to his classmate Alberghetti. To another senior, and Andrew Johnson. He started from day 1 here at Taylor. Looks to go out on a high note for his senior campaign. He lets 2 young fellows go after it, the freshman James McBride and the junior Josiah Wieland. They throw it into Wieland. Headed back, Raiders right there, but Messina takes it away from him. Salako heading it down. Up to the near side, it goes out. 4:13 left, second half. Taylor down by 2. Staria looking for a foul, but the ball was what hit him in the head, not the foot. Hardy to Paul McBride, now to James. Paul's legs taken out from underneath him. The foul called with less than 4 minutes remaining in the second half. Taylor down by 2. Rader sets this ball and he waits for his teammates to get into position. With the clock where it is now, Taylor almost needs to hit on this free kick to have an opportunity to tie the game. One to the middle. Knocked away by the USF defense. Right there, still back in. It was Juan Alberghetti on the shot, but easily read by Cotto. He falls on this one, and with less than 3:30 remaining in the second half, USF inches closer and closer to the first win of the season. Obilo. Salako there, step for step for the Taylor D. Obilo tries another step over move, but the big fella Salako is in there. Sulaco sent down on a shove by Ruel Orastes Obilo. And then Hardy will get this one back going for Taylor. Less than 3 to go, second half. Trojans down by 2. Obilo will pull this one away. As USF will try to play keep away momentarily, but Dayoff has other ideas for the Trojans. Sulaco to Johnson. And now to Paul McBride, taken away from him, but Johnson will boot this one forward. Staria puts his left foot in front. And then here is Jeremiah Rader for TU. To Eganoff, far sideline. His high school teammate, both at Covenant Christian High School down there in Indianapolis. 2:15 left second half. Taylor down by 2. They need goals, and they need them quick. Here's Rader all alone, but he couldn't get his head on it. And it's an easy snag for Cotto as Johnson almost found his senior classmate Rader. 2 of the 3 tri-captains for the Trojans almost drew Taylor to within 1. McBride with the back at his feet near side after the goal kick. Into space, Rader will hustle after it, but Angelo will just play keep away, but then he rolls it across the end line. 1:40 left second half. A corner kick from the near sideline for Taylor as they attack the goal to our left. It'll be Jeremiah Rader to take it. Now 90 seconds left in regulation, down 2. Rader sends a low one in. James McBride is there. And then back to Andrew Johnson with 1:17 left. Big right foot in. Whelan all alone off his head and in! Whelan with 1:12 left to go here in the second half. And Whelan has drawn Taylor to within 1, down 3-2 as he skies for his first goal of the season. So Andrew Johnson gets his first assist of the year. And that comes in the 89th minute. And Taylor to within 1. They're going to push everybody forward here. And this one will be driven deep, just what you thought USF would do. Williams will snag it, and now we've got 1 minute to go. Taylor's going to throw everybody forward and try to get the third goal of the night to even us at 3 apiece. Deflected back, Hardy steps in for Taylor. Obilo on his back pocket. And now time is called as a USF player down on the far side. 46 seconds left exactly here in this second half. It's Morgan McKenzie, the one down on the far sideline. He is sitting up as the training staff jogs out to take a look at him. What a beautiful little ball there from Andrew Johnson. To slip it through and find Whelan, who was all alone. Time to jump right in. The Brimfield, Illinois native heads one in to draw Taylor to within 1. Jeremiah Rader gets some water thrown to him from the Taylor sidelines down below us. And now Morgan McKenzie, favoring that right leg, will walk off underneath his own power. Mateo Demoff down here at the midline to come in and take his spot for St. Francis. It should be Taylor's possession with 46 seconds left after Whelan scored the second goal of the night. And Taylor's going to push everybody forward.
Francis is number 23, Mateo Demoff.
So Mateo Demoff comes in to spell McKenzie. And now Rader talking things over with our head official, John Miller, to figure out whose possession it will be. Hardy and Johnson, the only two back behind midfield. It'll be dropped and then sent deep by St. Francis. This one's sent out of bounds. Hardy, now the time will be stopped once again. So 3 3/10 of a second went off the clock. And Hardy will throw it in far sideline. 42 7/10 of a second left to go here in regulation. Taylor now down by 1. Johnson will send it deep. Rader trying to work it forward. It bounced through a couple defenders. Dimoff goes right back to Rader. Try to slip away. Messina got his foot on it, and he'll find it over to Obilo for USF. The through ball sent in. Johnson sprinting after it. Will send it back to Williams with 23 seconds and counting. Here's Paul McBride. A long pass forward. Bounces past. Whelan will find Salako at the top. Still loose. Whelan. Long right-footed shot. He'll send this one a mile in the air. And with 10 seconds left in regulation, that looks to be the last chance for Taylor here tonight. Whelan drew Taylor to within 1. He got the only shot off with less than 30 seconds remaining in the contest. And that will bring our first broadcast of the year to a close tonight. The Trojans fall tonight by a final of 3-2. They are now 0-1 on the year. St. Francis of Illinois improves to 1-0 here in 2018. We thank all of you folks for tuning in here tonight. Our next broadcast of Taylor Men's Soccer comes up this Tuesday, August 21st, when the Trojans take on